In the world of Stranger Things, a place brimming with psychic children, monsters from dark dimensions, and secret government labs, there is one man who stands out not for any supernatural power but for his wonderfully loud and skeptical humanity, Murray Bauman. His journey across the series is a quiet masterpiece of character development, a slow-burn transformation from a bitter cynic into a reluctant but steadfast believer in the impossible. When we first meet Murray, he is not a hero. He is a former journalist turned conspiracy theorist, living in a messy, paranoid world of his own making. His house is a physical manifestation of his mind, cluttered with newspaper clippings, red string connecting wild ideas, and the lingering smell of resentment. He has been pushed to the fringes of society because he chased a story about shady government activities, a story nobody wanted to believe. This experience has left him deeply wounded and fiercely distrustful. To Murray, the world is a lie, and everyone in it is either a liar or a fool. His cynicism is his armor, his way of making sense of a world that he feels betrayed by. He doesn't believe in grand, shadowy conspiracies for the fun of it. He believes because his own lived experience taught him that the official story is always wrong. So, when Joyce Byers and Chief Jim Hopper stumble into his life asking for help to investigate a strange Russian transmission, he is not suddenly eager to join a noble quest. He is, in fact, incredibly annoyed. He sees them as confirmation of his worldview, two more people caught in a web of lies, but he initially views their story about a secret Russian lab under a local mall as just another piece of a confusing puzzle. He helps them, but not out of altruism. He helps because it validates his own theories, because it proves he was right all along about the secrets and the corruption. This is the first crack in his cynical shell. His worldview is confirmed, but the reality confirming it is far stranger than even he imagined. His real turning point, the moment his cynicism begins to seriously falter, comes with the introduction of the Russian prisoner. This isn't a faceless enemy or a vague theory anymore, it is a living, breathing person, Alexei. Murray is thrust into the role of translator and, unexpectedly, caretaker. His initial interaction is pure, pragmatic Murray. He needs information, and Alexei has it. But as they share Slurpees and bond over the simple, bizarre joy of a county fair, something shifts. Murray's harsh exterior, built to deflect connection, begins to soften. He doesn't just see a source, he sees a funny, naive man who loves cartoons and never got to experience the simple pleasures of life. He makes Alexei laugh. He protects him. When Alexei is killed, Murray's rage and grief are profound. This is no longer about being right about a conspiracy, this is about the loss of a friend. His cynicism, which once protected him from pain, has now been shattered by it. He has been personally touched by the weirdness he once only theorized about, and it has cost him someone he cared for. This personal loss transitions him from a commentator on the sidelines to a participant emotionally invested in the fight. He is no longer just proving a point, he is seeking justice and trying to prevent further pain. From this point on, Murray's role evolves dramatically. The ultimate skeptic becomes the group's most valuable believer, using his skills not to debunk but to enable. In Season 4, we see the full flowering of this new Murray. He is no longer the reluctant helper, he is a key member of the team, actively launching a one-man rescue mission to Russia to save Hopper. The man who once trusted no one now flies to the other side of the world based on faith in Joyce's determination and in his own duty to his friend. His pragmatism remains, but it is now in service of belief. He uses his knowledge of obscure martial arts, his quick thinking, and his linguistic skills not for selfish vindication, but for the sake of others. The most powerful symbol of his transformation is his relationship with Yuri, the sleazy Russian pilot. Murray approaches Yuri with the same cynical, distrustful bartering tactics of his old self, but the goal is utterly new: to save lives. And in a glorious, hilarious culmination, he becomes the instrument of the group's salvation not through violence or gadgets, but through talking. His relentless, annoying, insightful psychoanalysis of both Yuri and the terrifying prison guard Dmitri is his superpower. He disarms them not with weapons but with uncomfortable truth, seeing through their facades just as he once tried to see through the world's. The cynic's tool, distrust and analysis, has become the believer's weapon, used to create connection and facilitate escape. Murray's acceptance of the weird is never a blind, wide-eyed faith. He doesn't wake up one day and suddenly embrace the upside down with a smile. His belief is grumpy, sarcastic, and punctuated with constant complaints. When faced with the reality of demogorgons and psychic battles, he doesn't gasp in awe, he makes a sarcastic remark and then gets to work. This is what makes his journey so relatable and so beautifully human. He represents every person who needs to see evidence, who needs to touch and feel the impossible before accepting it. His gradual shift mirrors how real people change their minds, not in a sudden flash, but through accumulated experience, through personal connection, and through the undeniable force of reality literally knocking on their door. He becomes the bridge between the ordinary world and the extraordinary nightmare, translating the unbelievable into a language of practical action. He teaches us that you don't have to be a wide-eyed innocent to be brave, and you don't have to shed your critical mind to be a believer. You can be scared, you can be loud, you can complain every step of the way, and still choose to stand with your friends against the darkness. In the end, Murray Bauman's story is one of the most human in Stranger Things. He shows us that courage isn't the absence of fear or doubt, but the decision to act in spite of it. He moves from a man who believed in nothing but conspiracy to a man who believes in something far more powerful, the people fighting beside him. His journey from cynic to believer is a testament to the idea that sometimes the most heroic thing you can do is to let go of being right about how terrible the world is, and instead help to make it better, even if you never stop talking about how crazy the whole situation is. He is the heart and the loud, complaining voice of the show, reminding us that in a battle between humans and monsters, it is our messy, stubborn, deeply flawed humanity, our capacity to change, to connect, and to care, that is our greatest strength of all.